coming in and off away to a first timer for the Grade 2 Totesport.com Persian War Novices hurdle over 2 miles and about 4 furlongs. They cross 10 hurdles, and Frascati Park and William Hogarth are going to take each other on, and they're already well clear of the chasing group going over the first. Frascati Park led William Hogarth. They're 8 or 10 lengths up on Captain Chris, who leads the remainder, as Frascati Park draws clear going to the second flight. Jumped it safely, 5 lengths up on William Hogarth, who would be further in front of Captain Chris than that. Silviniaco Conti is racing fourth in front of Quo Video as the leaders jump the third. William Hogarth rather deliberately. Shalimar Framentro is in the last quartet. Cavite Beta is held up towards the back, and Lidar is alongside him. So they're on their approach towards flight number 4. Frascati Park about half a dozen lengths clear, jumping away to the left, landing in front of William Hogarth, with Captain Chris bringing the other runners markedly closer to William Hogarth. Silviniaco Conti runs fourth in front of Shalimar Framentro and Quo Video. Cavite Beta is one from last, and Lidar continues to whip them in. So Frascati Park by a good 8 lengths going into the turn, with William Hogarth rounding it in second. William Hogarth has drawn away from Captain Chris once again, and he's closing in on the front running Frascati Park. Gap between the front pair down to about 5 lengths. It's about 6 lengths to Captain Chris in third, who's a couple of lengths up on Silviniaco Conti, who runs fourth. Then there's a length to Shalimar Framentro, and then Quo Video, Lidar and Cavite Beta is now the back marker, and would be 15 lengths from the leader. Just 2 hurdles to negotiate on the far side, as Frascati Park leads them to the first of them. It'll be the 5th all told, and crosses it 5 in front of William Hogarth, who hit it hard. Captain Chris jumped it fluently in third, as Frascati Park just begins to hang to the outside on the approach towards the next, just beginning to lug right-handed. So going to the last on the far side, Frascati Park's advantage down to 4 lengths over William Hogarth, who jumped it only a length in front of Captain Chris and Silviniaco Conti, who now both go on terms with William Hogarth. Cavite Beta has made ground up into 5th, but he's 5 lengths off the leading quartet. Lidar is next. Shalimar Framentro is struggling to go with the leading group, and it looks as though Quo Video is not going to go much further. Tom David is easing down, and Quo Video is being pulled up. So Frascati Park is now being chased hard by William Hogarth, Captain Chris and Silviniaco Conti on their outside, with a 6-length gap to Cavite Beta, who's racing isolated back in 5th position. That one's racing clear of Lidar, who's gone away from Shalimar Framentro, who's now last of the 7 survivors. Leading quartet are covered by little more than 2 lengths now. Frascati Park has got Silviniaco Conti, Captain Chris and William Hogarth breathing down his neck. The last named is beginning to look weary now. Back in 4th, William Hogarth. Cavite Beta's effort appears to have petered out. He'd be 10 lengths off the leading quartet as Frascati Park leads them into the straight. Silviniaco Conti, travelling strongly, is going with Frascati Park, who's trying to kick again. Captain Chris, brought to the stand side, will jump 4 out, about 4 lengths behind the leading pair, and Silviniaco Conti has now drawn level with Frascati Park as they approach the 3rd from home in the Persian War. It's Silviniaco Conti in the red under Noel Fehily, who takes a narrow lead going over the 3rd last and totally outjumps Frascati Park, who makes a blunder. Captain Chris now has to switch round him to try and close on the leader Silviniaco Conti, who's going strongly at the 2nd last and jumped it 4 lengths clear. Captain Chris is now in pursuit. Back in 3rd is the fading Frascati Park. William Hogarth is a remote 4th. Shalimar Framentro and Cavite Beta are still going but tailed off as Silviniaco Conti enters the final furlong with 1 hurdle to jump and fairly winged it. Landed 7 or 8 lengths in front of Captain Chris. Frascati Park is well held in 3rd. Silviniaco Conti maintains his unbeaten run over obstacles to win the Persian War in grand style. Captain Chris chased him home. Frascati Park set up the race for them, came home third in front of William Hogarth, Shalimar from Entro and Cavite Beta.